So we had a really interesting situation unfold a few days ago. A U.S. Navy ship had a mechanical problem and drifted into Iranian water. So Iran boarded the ship. They briefly detained it and detained the sailors and brought them back to Iran. And then they proceeded to feed them and chat with them and then release them the next morning. So at no time were they in danger, and the situation honestly couldn't have been resolved any better. I mean, if you had to draw it up, if you were going to have a problem with the U.S. ship, okay, and then you had to draw up what's going to happen from there on out, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. Exactly how it unfolded here. And I imagine, in all seriousness, if this happened under Ahmadinejad or Bush, the negative feelings between the U.S. and Iran would have been so deep that there would have been a lack of diplomacy, and that would have meant that the sailors perhaps would have been detained for longer and perhaps would be prisoners. But since we have a Democratic administration in the U.S., and since we have a moderate administration, with Hassan Rouhani, to be clear, the Grand Ayatollah is a fucking maniac, but, since we have Hassan Rouhani who's saner than Ahmadinejad, well, then we opened up channels of communication, and everything worked out okay. But the fact that it worked out okay did not stop Republicans from attacking. So here comes Louis Gohmert with a ridiculous point.
Iran has detained 2 boats, 10 sailors, 9 men, 1 woman. Iranian news is reporting that they were arrested, although the Pentagon's jumping through some word Olympics to say everything's fine, don't worry about it. What's your assessment of this?
Well, first of all, I understand that John Kerry has indicated that, look, when he got word, he and Ash Carter called the Iranians to, help take care of our Navy guys because they had some mechanical problems. And when our Navy ships have problems, we don't call Iran. Right. We call the rest of the Navy. We can call the Air Force, the Army, the Marines, Coast Guard. We don't call Iran. And so for the Iranians to even issue a statement at all saying we are going to release them soon tells you that they control whether or not they can leave. That situation should not be allowed to happen. And we should demand that Iran let these people go. Our Navy men and women, whatever they are, let them go, or we're going to start taking your ships out one at a time.
We were in contact with them. They told us good things. They said, oh yeah, no, you'll get them back. No problem. Tomorrow. Is it a deal? Deal. It went as smoothly as possible. And the right still says, oh, get other people from the Navy or the Army or the Marines and start bombing, attack, do something. So escalate even when we get what we want from the other side. That's just a perfect encapsulation and microcosm of the right. That's Republican 101 today. And that's exactly what's happening with the Iran nuclear deal too. Because, we learned that they're giving up any chance that they had of ever getting a nuclear weapon. They're turning over their uranium stockpile. And what does the right say? Iran's going to get a nuke! But wait, the whole point of the deal was the opposite of that. We release billions of dollars of their own money to them, okay? And then they say, here's our uranium stockpiles, and we'll allow in the IAEA to check to see if we're doing any funny business. Okay, that's a fantastic deal. That's exactly the deal that everybody said they wanted, and then we get exactly what we want, and they're like, attack! Don't do the deal! No peace! Well, then who's the bad guy here, Louis? I think you would be the bad guy. I think people like Tom Cotton who are making the same argument, you guys are the bad guys. If they're saying, yeah, let's do this deal, let's have peace, and let's go about it this way, and then you say, no, well, then you don't get to say, why are you the bad guy? No, you're the bad guy. You're the one that's rejecting peace. You're the one that after they tell you you're going to get them back and it's going to be fine and everything's going to be good, and you say, I don't care, I'm going to come after you. Well, then you're the bad guy. You're the aggressor. How do you not get this? But that's the thing. Logic is out the window because it's all about, people often talk about identity politics on the left and how that's a problem. Sure, I don't deny that. Sometimes that goes way too far on the left and there are a whole bunch of issues that come about as a result of that. But this is real identity politics here. Because in Louis Gohmert's mind, Iranian equals bad, period. American equals good, period. So even if they tell us exactly what we want and we have a deal to let them go immediately and we apologize for being in their waters when we shouldn't have been in the first place, he's like, no, that's not enough. They're Iranian. You don't call them, you don't even talk to them. That's what he said. Why would you talk to Iranians? Because that's where they are. Our ship went into their waters. Why would you talk to them? Just go send the military attack. So in his mind, Iranian equals bad no matter what. American equals good no matter what. This guy, that's deeply immoral. Because that means if somebody on our side ever does something horrendous and commits a war crime, well, he just defend it because we're the good guys by definition. They're the bad guys by definition. This is how you get people to defend in Iraq, for example. If a soldier goes nuts and starts killing all these innocent civilians, Louis Gohmert will come out and say, I don't care, the American's right because he's American, and that's the end of the conversation. The Iraqi's just a dirty Iraqi. This kind of thinking is grotesque. You're not some kind of intellectual or moral hero, Louis. You're a clown on the world stage. You're a dangerous joke. The entire time that you want to do aggressive offensive actions against other people, you pretend like that's what they want when they're telling you they don't want it.